Coming up on this week's Jaguar Week in Review, we take a look at how this year's BBE Community Fruit Drive turned out. Plus, in this week's Focus Point, we sit down with head wrestling coach Mr. Mueller for his thoughts so far in this season. We'll have that with a look at this week's news, a recap of last week's sports, and more coming up. The Jaguar Week in Review starts now. Welcome to the Jaguar Week in Review for this week. I'm Cody Bertram, and thanks for tuning in. We begin the show this week by taking a look at the success of this year's BBE Fruit Drive fundraiser. With fresh fruit being in high demand during the winter season, people are always looking for that juicy orange or that refreshing apple. However, these and many other fruits may be hard to find due to the fact that the growing season for the majority of the country is finished for the year. Even though high-quality fruit for the winter season may be difficult to find, many have been utilizing the BBE FFA Fruit Drive to not only purchase fruit, but to help raise money for the school district. The demand in the community for this fruit over the past few years has been so high that the fruit drive needed to expand its reach.
Well, we've always known in the past that the FFA has just done a fabulous job with their fruit drive. And we have had many people contacting the school wondering how they could buy fresh fruit. So we decided, why don't we expand this to a pre-K through 12 district-wide fruit drive.
With grades pre-K through 12 now being able to sell fruit for this fundraiser, the effort that needed to be put into making this a success increased dramatically. With help from FFA instructor Mr. Rogers, the Fruit Drive Committee began work, sending out order forms and spreading the word on social media. All of this hard work paid off in the end as BBE schools were able to sell 2,012 boxes of fruit.
I sold 17 boxes.
You know, Cody, it went really well this year. I sold over $100 worth of fruit.
Along with the efforts of students, another large part of this success was the ease of ordering.
They really loved that they had so many options, different options to purchase the fruit from. Sometimes, students don't get out to everybody. So since we put it on our social networking sites, they could go to our school website. A lot of our older generations, they like to cut it out and to fill it in and send it in to the school. They liked the different options and the way to order it, and that they could contact anybody and to be able to order the fruit that they wanted.
Since this fundraiser works well because of the aforementioned demand of fruit, it is helping to aid BBE in its strategy shift from holding many smaller fundraisers to just having a few bigger ones. The money raised from this drive will be put to good use by the school district as a whole.
This is 100% goes to students. And so, for example, our Camp Foley trip, ski trips, Jag Pride, post-prom, classroom needs, if we have like guest speakers in here, classroom fees, roller skating, it is all for the students of BBE. Their learning experiences are very important, and this will support from the extracurricular to the arts, and even I had some questions, well, will the FFA still be able to get some of these funds? They will have a great pool of funds to get from.
To add a little fun into selling fruit, there was a grand prize for the top family seller and also some friendly competition between the elementary and high school.
This year's family winner goes out to Tanner and Kylie Wiesman and their younger brother Carter. So they will be getting a hotel stay because of them raising and selling the most of the fruit drive. And the elementary school did win the 2017 Fruit Drive competition. So they will all be getting sundaes coming up soon in celebration of all their hard work. But I just want to compliment everyone.
For the Jaguar Week in Review, I'm Cody Bertram.
And we'd like to thank everyone who contributed to this fundraiser. Now let's get into this week's news. Sign up for the ACT test is now taking place. The ACT is a college entrance exam that some colleges and universities look at for admissions. This test will take place at BBE on February 27, 2018. You must sign up by Monday, December 18th if you are planning to take the assessment. Next week, the Student Council has arranged dress-up days. Monday will be Pajama Day, Tuesday will be Whiteout, Wednesday will be Santa Elf Reindeer attire, and Thursday will be Ugly Sweater Day. The annual BBE Holiday Band and Choir Concert has been rescheduled for this Monday, December 18th in the BBE High School gym. It will begin at 7 o'clock, and the music department will be performing a wide range of holiday music. The community is welcome to attend. This year's annual coloring contest has begun. Let your artistic talents flow by coloring pictures. When you are done coloring, make sure to write your name on the back. Make sure you turn these pictures into Mrs. Cassidy as soon as possible. They must be turned in before judging, which will take place next Thursday. The BBE Girls Basketball Clothing Store is now open. There will be a wide range of different clothing options. To purchase, head online to www.rambo.com and enter in the store code BBE Girls in all caps. If you are unable to order online, there is also a paper copy that is available on the BBE school website. All orders must be placed by Monday, December 18th. There is open gym every Saturday from 7 to 9 p.m. at the BBE High School and Sunday from 1 to 3 p.m. at the elementary. The cost is $1 and everyone is welcome. And finally, remember that there will be school this Monday, December 18th, due to Christmas break. This year's Christmas break begins on Friday, December 22nd and runs through Monday, January 1st. Now into upcoming events. Tonight, the BBE 4th grade girls basketball team will have practice from 4 to 5:30 p.m. in the BBE High School gym, and the 6th grade boys basketball traveling team will also have practice from 6:30 to 8 p.m. at the BBE Elementary School gym. Then tomorrow, on Saturday, December 16th, there will be a 6th grade boys basketball tournament at the Osakis High School at 8 a.m. Heading on into next week, there will be a school board meeting in the BBE High School Media Center from 7:30 to 8:30 p.m. on Monday the 18th. And looking throughout next week, there will be a Girl Scouts meeting in the BBE Elementary School Music Room from 3:45 to 5:30 on Wednesday, and Power Volleyball League will round out the week on Thursday from 7 to 9:30 p.m. in the BBE Elementary Small Gym. Now let's get into this week's focus point. This week, reporter Brady Nelson talked to wrestling coach Mr. Mueller about how this wrestling season has been going so far.
As seasons change from fall to winter, it also changes the sports season. Wrestling has always been a very physical sport. Throughout the ages, the sport has evolved in what we know as it today. A highly competitive sport that is fast-paced and much about mind as it is physical strength. For Mr. Mueller, this sport has been with him his whole life, from coaching wrestling, from even playing it. Mr. Mueller has been a long-dedicated wrestler. He wrestled for Painesville when he was growing up. Mr. Mueller has been coaching wrestling here at BBE for 4 years now.
This is my 4th year, so it's just started my 4th season. 3 years ago, I came here after teaching in Montana for a few years and had the wonderful opportunity to take over the role.
The BBE wrestling team are 2-0 in conference duel so far this year. The wrestling team also got second place in their home tournament out of 10 teams. And in the West Central area tournament, they took 3rd place. Coach Mueller believes that if the wrestlers play hard, the sky is high. His hopes for this season to be conference champs and section champs.
We have incredibly high hopes. 2 of the last 3 years, we were section runner-up. So we're hungry. We're sick of being second. We want to earn that trip to the state tournament, but we've got a long ways to go. Like I said, we've got a lot of experience back. The sky's the limit, and the guys know it. If we're willing to get our guys at the right spot, make some sacrifices with weigh-ins, we can go very far. Our team goals, I'm not afraid to make them public. Section champs, conference champs, neither of which have been done since I've been here. So we're definitely shooting for those. It's going to take everybody.
Coach Mueller's most rewarding part of being a wrestling coach is watching the kids overcome adversity and facing the challenges that come.
I think just, seeing kids overcome adversity. Wrestling's a tough sport. It's just kind of the daily grind. It's just a physical sport. When you're on the mat, you really can't rely on your teammates to carry the load. So a lot of times the work you put in is what you get out. And it's just really fun seeing kids improve throughout the year and overcome those mental challenges. In the practice room every day, one of our goals as a coach is just to kind of get these kids to develop that mental toughness. The old saying, once you've wrestled, everything in life is easy, kind of comes to mind. So at the beginning of the year, we mentally push kids, and we'll see kids break and we'll have to pick them up, and they'll break again and we'll have to pick them up. But by the end of the year, that almost becomes impossible to do. Kids get tougher and stronger, and that's really fun to see.
He believes the biggest thing to remember heading throughout this season that wins and losses are going to determine their success, but if each wrestler plays their role and takes one match at a time.
I think the biggest thing I tell our guys every day is, wins and losses don't determine your success as a wrestler. I think we've got a lot of guys with little experience. If they can go out there day in, day out and not get pinned, saving those bonus points is going to help this team. So it's not necessarily the wins and losses in our individual battles. that are going to determine our success. It's just going to be, can everybody do their job, know their role? Day in, day out, those roles might change. We might take our best wrestler, if he's wrestling a 2 or 3 time state champ, our best wrestler might have to save bonus points too. So just reminding kids to pay attention to those bonus points, win that battle, and take it one match at a time.
Some of the strengths that this year's team has is the experience they bring to the mat. The seniors bring a lot of leadership to the team.
I think we just bring a lot of experience back to the mat. We've got 6 seniors. Of those 6 seniors, only 3 of them truly have, deep wrestling experience. But just that senior leadership, these kids have been in and out of sports before. They know what it takes to be successful. They're willing to work. That's definitely one of our greatest strengths. In addition to those seniors, we have a handful of kids coming back with state tournament experience, 20 plus wins last year. So we've got a lot of experience, a lot of exceptional wrestling knowledge, and that's what we're going to continue to rely on.
Some changes to this year's upcoming team is a decrease of number of events, but increase the number of matches.
I think the biggest change that we're just kind of trying to figure out and overcome is actually a high school league change. In the past, we were allowed 18 events and 36 matches, and now this year we're down to 16 events with 45 matches. So the high school league actually decreased the number of events we're allowed to compete in, but increased the overall matches. So our schedule's kind of been changed and different. That's been an interesting challenge, but it's going well so far.
And finally, Coach Mueller believes that the senior leadership will help them throughout the season.
I definitely think, Adam, Isaiah, Trevor return a ton of wrestling experience. Seth was, phenomenal last year in just his first year out. Joe Thompson, Ben Schumann both bring, incredible hearts and energy to the wrestling room every day. So, yeah, those 6 guys are going to have very different roles amongst them, but their leadership and maturity will go a long ways.
We hope Mr. Mueller and his team the best of luck this season. For this week's Focus Point, I'm Brady Nelson. Now back to you, Cody.
And thanks for the report, Brady. Now let's get going on to this week's sports wrap. We start this week with girls basketball. Last Thursday on December 7th, the team headed out to Osakis to take on the Silver Streaks. The game started off with a deadlock between the 2 teams as the score was close heading up through the first half, with the halftime score being 26-20. Then in the second, the Jags were able to pull ahead by a larger margin, and they ended up winning the game 47-35. Then last Friday, the girls kept their momentum going when they headed to Minnewaska. From the get-go, the Jaguars held the lead. As the game progressed, they were able to hold on to this lead and ended up winning by over 20 points, with the final score being 75-51. Then this past Tuesday, the girls came back home to take on the Eden Valley Watkins Eagles. And boy, what a game it was. The girls opened up the game great, with them getting out to a 16-6 lead early. This lead, however, only lasted for the beginning of the first half as the Eagles got into gear and ended up being slightly ahead at halftime, being up 30-29. Then, the start of the second half, the teams were trading off scores, with the Eagles being up by only a couple of possessions. Then, when it came down to the final minutes, a 3 by Cassandra Tenson made the game 49-51. Down by only 2 points in the final minute, the Jags had a chance until Eden Valley ended up scoring a few more points off free throws. The Eagles ended up winning this nail-biter 55-49. The girls' team plays tonight away against Howard Lake. The game starts at 7 p.m. Now on to boys basketball. Last Friday on the 8th, the boys took the 2-hour trek to take on the Ortonville Trojans. The Jags ended up going into the half 13-25. The second half turned around for the Jags, though, as they went on a double-digit run. In the final minutes, the teams were neck and neck, but ultimately the Trojans ended up winning 48-45. Then this past Monday, the Jags played at home versus Hancock. The boys played a good first half and went into the half tied at 25-25. Then into the second half, they kept it close, and the Jags ended up taking the lead halfway through the second. However, in the final minutes, Hancock went on a run and ended up winning 74-63. The boys' team plays away at Osakis tonight. We hope to see you there. Next, we move to wrestling. Last Friday, on December 8th, the boys headed to Kimball for a try versus Kimball and Paynesville. The Jaguars took first in the try, winning against Paynesville 52-24 and Kimball 64-12. Then a day after, on Saturday, December 9th, the boys had a tournament in Barrett, and they ended up placing third. The wrestling team wrestles again tonight at Cass Lake Bena. And finally, we take a check at dance. The dance team opened up their season last Friday on December 8th in Albany. The varsity jazz got first and the varsity kick team got 5th out of 5. Their next meet will take place tonight in ACGC. We'll catch you at the competition. And that concludes this week's program. If you have something that you would like to be put in the Jaguar Week in Review, or if you would like to suggest ideas for future shows, email them to broadcast@bbejaguars.org. Also, if you enjoyed the program, be sure to subscribe to us at BBE Broadcasting on YouTube, iTunes, and the Google Play Store to watch or listen to our upcoming program. We will be back next year in January as we continue to work on bringing you news stories for the new year. Thanks for watching, and until next time, keep on keeping on. Have a great weekend, BBE.